I'm Robyn Wiebe from Golden West Radio. I am here with Zackery. Zackery, talk to me a little bit about yourself and tell everybody who you are.
Well, my name is Zackery Wiebe. I grew up on a farm north of Morden, Manitoba. I have been farming all my life, really from a young age. As a farm kid, you're kind of, introduced to the farm and you're kind of the free labor. But I just always really enjoyed it. Both my grandparents farmed, so it was all I ever knew. And growing up north of Morden, in an ag town as well, just really got to experience it and learn to love it as a young age. Went to university at U of M for agriculture. Yeah, just really loved the ag industry.
You also sing, I hear.
Yes, I also do a little bit of music, and that's kind of a new thing that's come on and really been a passion of mine. It's also been a passion of mine since I was young. And one side of my family, my grandmother was a piano teacher, and my grandpa Frank sang in a lot of quartets, and I think a lot of people may know him in the industry, in the area. But he, just really taught me to love music, and my grandmother as well. And as I grew older, I learned to love both, and was trying to balance this, music and farming. I really never thought the music thing was going to be a thing that I could pursue even, but it kind of just happened out of nowhere.
Okay, so early memories of music. Was your grandma your piano teacher, or how'd that go?
Yeah, she definitely tried to teach me piano, and I kind of was more interested in the guitar, but also wasn't that driven at that time to make music. It happened after I graduated high school, where I started to pursue and started to really be interested in music, and not only music but writing music. I sang in high school and choir and stuff, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I could do this for a living, or I could do this seriously. And I just kind of started posting videos on my Instagram way back, probably 2017, 2018, just casually of snippets of stuff I'd written or whatever, just to play at a local coffee house or something. Not taking it seriously, because I really did love farming, and I didn't think that I was music was an avenue I could pursue. A friend from San Francisco who's a producer, and he reached out to me and was like, hey man, let's start working on, we should flesh these out. And I was traveling at the time. I was in Egypt, and I ended up coming back and started working on songs, and then kind of COVID hit, and I did a lot of Zoom sessions and FaceTime sessions with some producers, just trying to make some more music. And then I ended up downloading TikTok and having some traction on there, which kind of propelled me even further into doing music and taking it more seriously, where I was in contact with managers and labels, and kind of propelled me into where I am today, and taking music more seriously and working on a farm. And so kind of trying to balance it both. It's tough, but we're doing it.
Tell me a little bit about the first time you put pen to paper when you wrote your first song.
I'm not much of a writer down type. I'm how I write songs is generally I'll start a voice memo and really I'm a melody first guy. So I really like freestyle and find something I like and build off that. And I really believe in getting your reps in and writing a lot of bad music. And they're not going to be good. They might be good at the start, but for me they weren't. And it just takes time and persistence to, I think you can see hints of, great stuff, and then it kind of just, as you go on, develops. There might be a hint of, or this piece of this song sounds really great, or I really like this chord progression, or I like this lyric. It can be anything that propels that idea or that thought or that song. Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
It comes from a lot of things. I think just life in general, personal life experiences of. I only have 2 songs out, but they're really both about love. One's about being scared to fall in love, and the one's about how much love hurts, and how it's real when it really hurts. And
so 2 songs on Spotify that I found.
Yes.
when you see your crowd reacting, I mean, your Instagram's kind of blowing up now. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It's really, really cool to see. I really just want people to connect with the music, and that's the music that I love is an artist that I can, connect with and relate to the songs. And I really hope people can connect with the music at a different level and make you feel something. I want my music to make you feel something. So if you give the songs a listen and you feel something, that's really my goal, so. Yeah.
The latest song kind of got you on a Billboard in Toronto. That's how I found out. Someone sent it to me and said, "Hey, you gotta interview this guy." And I'm like, I know Zach.
Yeah, very crazy to see, and it's cool, really cool to see a farm kid from Manitoba, on a Billboard. It's wild, and I never expected that, and I just really hope people like the music. And I got some songs that are coming yet that are some of my favorites, so I'm really excited. If you like Do Your Worst and you like On the Edge, I think you're really gonna like the next stuff. So. Yeah.
Okay, so how did that happen? How did you get on that Billboard in Toronto?
Working with a label called AWOL. My manager's from London, UK, and he knew some people at AWOL, and I did my first song with them. They're a record label, kind of a distribution label, and they have some connections to Amazon Music, and Amazon Music Canada heard the song before it released. We kind of pitched it to them, and they loved the song, and I really want to support the release. So yeah, it's very cool to see them get behind me and support me so early on, especially because it's I only have 2 songs out, so it's really cool to see. Yeah.
So you're kind of alluding to the fact that you have more music coming out. Mm-hmm. How many more songs, and could it be an album?
Not an album yet, but I'd like to string a couple singles together here this year. I got a lot of songs that are close. I would love to do an album in the future for sure. I think that's definitely the goal. It's always been my goal to put together a project. And I think we'll get there, but I'm still learning a lot, and the collaborators that I've worked with have been so fantastic so far. So I'm looking forward to making more music and really digging into music as a profession for sure. Yeah.
Kind of a big deal in some ways with people in this area. I mean, people have heard your music. You've done a lot of on stage stuff that people have heard. What would you say to your early fans that kind of bought in early when they knew you before you were maybe your single on the Billboard in Toronto?
Well, thank you. I thank everybody that stuck around this long, because I've been really slow with the music thing, and I feel it's been painfully slow for me, and I feel like my clock was ticking, especially when I went to go to LA and meet people that are 19 and 20 and killing it. And I felt a little out of place, but I also knew I could do it, and I believed in the music, and I still believe in the music. And I think as we go further into this year, you'll hear some songs that can hopefully, speak to people. I want to write music that you want to show your best friend. That's the type of music that excites me. I want to make music that excites people, that you want to tell your friends about. Not that I'm just from Manitoba or from your town. I want it because it's good.
Does farming influence your sound? Does it influence your music?
Absolutely. I think the aesthetic I really want to pour into, and that's a big thing with my visuals as well. And I work with my cousin Calvin Dalkey a lot, and he did my first 2 videos and does a lot of my visuals. Because where I'm from is unique, and the circumstances I come from is unique. So I really want to push that and just show people what Manitoba's like and what the farmer life is like. In the modern music era that we're in, people want to they want to see. I always was a fan of these mysterious artists, and I still am. But the mystery thing is kind of, I think it's maybe a little bit of a way of the past, as just so many artists are with using TikTok and Reels, showing their everyday life and showing, what they do every day, or them in the studio, or them on the, on tour, or whatever that is, their everyday life. And my everyday life is driving a tractor. I try to do a lot of my music stuff in the winter. And a lot of these songs were written over the winter. Do Your Worst was actually written like 2 years ago. So it's quite an old track, but it's still a track that I listened to 2 years later and still really love. And that's when I know I want to put it out, because it's like, it sticks with you.
It does stick with you, because I listen to it, and it's actually playing in my head when like things go quiet. All of a sudden I hear your song in my head.
Love to hear that. And I got so many nice messages when it released, and I really, I want to write music that, gets stuck in your head. So that's awesome. So
do you sing in the tractor?
I do a little bit, but not like a ton. I probably should more. I'm hoping to do some live shows soon, and kind of in the process of putting a band together, and would love to play a lot more live, and excited for that next step. So.
Your falsetto, like you have a high range.
Mm-hmm.
That's a unique sound in itself. Talk to me a little bit about when you discovered you kind of had that unique sound.
It would probably be like early on when I was in choir, being a tenor, and just kind of like, playing around with my range. I knew I could sing pretty high, and also sing well in my falsetto. So for me, it kind of just became a tool that I would use, and I really explored that, with when I started writing music, because I was a big fan of Novo More, big fan of Bon Iver, big fan of a lot of these artists that use their falsetto to their advantage, and very much inspired by that. And I just really love that type of music. So it was just kind of something that I was good at, and also something I really like to do. So it just worked. Your
fan base that is growing, the new fans, to the people that are just kind of discovering who you are, and might be discovering as they're watching this or listening to this, what would you say to people who are listening now?
Just thank you for coming along for the ride. It's so cool. Me as a music fan, I love finding an artist that's at the beginning, or that you can get behind, and that you want to see win. And I just, thank you for coming along for the ride, and I'm just excited to have you guys along, and stay tuned for new music, new stuff that's coming, some shows. I'm just excited for the next chapter.